Thank you. The rebirth of advertising. And I hear you think already, you're going, why would something like advertising need to be reborn? You're probably happy that it's about to die soon. So I'm hopefully trying or going to convince you that it's actually worth to look at advertising as something that can be reborn, and that's actually pretty interesting. And to do so, I'm going to show you no advertising. So there's going to be no ads in this whole presentation. I'm going to hopefully show you a theory, a way of thinking that shows that advertising can be exciting, and that you go home and said, I like that. I'm going to look for those cases that are actually proof of this theory. There is a special reason also why I think that here in Belgium, we are on the verge, or we will be a big significant part of where this rebirth of advertising will come from. So just as it was mentioned before, the Cannes Lions is the one big international advertising festival, is rewarding the best cases in creative or innovative advertising from all over the world. And if you look at all the Cannes Lions per capita, and you draw the map again based on these numbers, you can actually see that ce plat petit, qui est le mien, that is actually pretty big. So we are doing really, really well in rethinking advertising today already. Maybe not yet on the most technology innovation, but we're already doing really, really well compared to other markets. Look at the United States. It's somewhere up there, the small one. So we should be proud of what we do. So how come that advertising then has become something that we think is so ugly? And to do that, I'm going to go back in time and tell you a little bit of a history story. So I'm not going to be a lecture, but I want to tell you something about how this situation has become where it is today. So if you think about the situation a long time ago, shops or a consumer in a business, we would be very similar. And if you go back long enough, we'd actually be the same. We'd all be producing things that we would use to trade with somebody else that would make something else, and we'd be consumers from each other. But then we started working in another person's business that was growing up, and the situation changed. But we still see it sometimes today. If you go into this small shop around the corner in your own town or village or city, you'll be there in this place where the shop owner will know you, and he will tell you when he sees you coming in and say, that magazine that you like, it's just coming in, and because they know there is only a few examples that coming in every month, he kept one aside for you because he knows you like it. This is what we like. But this has changed because businesses grew, and the relationship between businesses and us as consumers has changed over time. So it became a lot more difficult for consumers to go back to a business and, basically complain or ask something. And this is a literal good example. If you want to, telephone any big company here in the country or anywhere, it takes you quite a bit of time to find a telephone number, only then to land on a number where you have to dial 1 and then 5 and then 7, and then it looks like you end up at the start again. It's all pretty annoying. But the businesses gain more power in talking to us as consumers altogether, and much easier for them. And then advertising was invented, and it only became worse. And this relationship was twisted, and the relationship became in such a way that because of the power of advertising and the size of the business, these became several departments, and the people that came up with the story and saying, this is what our product is good for, have no link with the people that actually made the product. It was also not very necessary that that there's a big link between what the product actually did and what we say we did, because we couldn't make enough noise about it to make that change happen. Luckily, technology came along, and there's two big major changes that I think that impacted this thing and brought us to a new balance. The first thing is we created technology that helped us to ignore advertising, or that helped us skip advertising. We made technology that would literally help us consume content where there was no advertising in there, or we had ways to record and then skip it, or we would download other ways so there was nothing involved. We found our ways around it. This is a little bit of a short-term solution, but we found one. The one that is more important is that through technology, we started to network. And I don't mean through Facebook. I mean that people that had similar interests or similar information requests started to find each other. Through the internet, you would find that you might have a really, really strange hobby, but all of a sudden you would find there's other people in the world with that really other same hobby like you had, or that were looking for the same products, or that were using the same products, or were having the same issues you would have. And basically, we would scale up as consumers in a very different way than businesses would be. But through these technology changes, there's this new kind of balance between the business and between us. And we don't really understand what that balance is about. It's not like a single line like it used to be. There's a lot more people and a lot more complexity involved, but it's definitely there. And it's interesting because although the technology behind it is being invented by these same businesses, the way this technology is being used and these networks are created is something that we as consumers have done. Businesses haven't done that. There's two reasons for that. First of all, why would they change? They were in charge, so that's easy. The second thing is that we see whenever big businesses try to innovate, its sort of immune system kicks in. It fights against innovation. It's not really a natural thing for them to do. For most companies, that is. You know, it's a very logical thing that you would say, how come that Skype was not invented by a large telecommunication company? Or why wasn't Spotify not invented by a large player in the music industry? You know, it seems logic that they have all the resources and the labs and the invention people to make up these things, and yet they don't. They come from the outside because of this innovation piece. So you have this technology that has changed, there is this new kind of balance, and yet brands are doing very different things with that. It's sort of like the epic split of advertising. So at one hand, you have things like Nike, who developed something like Nike Plus, which really taps into this need of consumers and into this way how people are networked and how they are creating value amongst each other. Very interesting. And you have other brands that are thinking that the network means Facebook, and then you have to do very stupid Facebook updates that will advertise, and then you'll go like them, and you need to share that with your friends. And so you get things like, share if you're excited about the sunny weekend, or KLM will post an update with the Eiffel Tower in a photo, and then the letters P_R_S, and ask you which city this is, right? So this is what advertising has become if you take that kind of the spectrum. So yeah, the situation has changed, it's very interesting, but not everybody is doing interesting things. How does that come? Because I think we should, not only the new balance is there, but that means that we should redefine advertising how it is today. My definition of advertising today is the following. I think advertising is about enabling stories to be told, whether it is brand stories, product stories, consumer stories, but that is what advertising should be. What does that mean? It means that it starts with a product, it should fulfill a brand's purpose, and it can be delivered through storytelling and social currency. Now that's a little bit quick, so let's go back. It starts with a product. Since that new balance is there, the situation where what the product actually does and how it is communicated, those things are linked up again, right? You cannot just say, our coffee is this and this, where it's not really true, but we can make so much noise about it and nobody can really do anything about it that we'll all buy this coffee. So it really starts with product. The advertising is not a layer on top, which smart communication folks to figure out. And we need to think about that, because it means that we need to think about differently where the advertising in our organization starts, but it's an opportunity. The products today that win are not just products with great communication or great ads. They're just great products. It needs to fulfill a brand's purpose. So when we founded Duval Guillaume 18 years ago, we created this exercise in which we were looking for, and this exercise called Hero Brand, in which we were looking for what a brand's game is. And the game is literally what today is being popular as the brand's purpose. What is the brand's role in society? How is it going to make my life better? And not just why am I going to buy this product, but it needs to figure out why it's going to make my life better. Google is making money with advertising from mainly search. But the thing is that it's trying to organize all the world's information and for me to use it and I become better of it. Or Nike believes that we can all be athletes, and they obviously have the tools to do that, as in the gear and also the Nike Plus, but they have this thorough belief that we can all find this greatness in ourselves and become better persons. And if a brand has a clear vision on how they want to be better for society and build products for that, it's much easier to advertise. And then we have a proper belief in that advertising sits in two areas. Storytelling and social currency. Social currency meaning it is giving people a story to tell to each other. Storytelling is where brands will tell you a story. A lot of the storytelling will happen in the traditional space. It's a bit more one way, but yet we can, there's a lot of things we can do to improve that. Social currency is a newer kind of advertising. This is where we do things, where we hope that you will take them away and maybe talk to them about with your friends. It's very important that the second part, there is no control in that. The first we control. We have this message, we make this as beautiful as possible, as true as possible. So a lot of advertising that doesn't really do that, but let's do that. And then communicate that through media, whatever the media is. Social currency, let's do something that we'll hope will trigger people to talk about it. The storytelling is where I'm, as a brand, respectful to you. And in the social currency, I earn respect as a brand because of I'm showing that I really care, that I really do things. And it's very important to keep the no control part in that piece. Because if we try to control the uncontrollable, we break the system. What you see on this graph is the organic reach from all Facebook pages over the last 6 months. So an average page will have an organic reach from around 12% 6 months ago, and will have 6% right now. And if it's a huge page with over 500,000 fans, that will be from 4% to 2%. So it's not only Facebook who's being smart and wants us all to buy more ads to get people to see the content, it's also because we wanted to control the system. We wanted to control all the content on there for people to see and to share, that we broke it, that people don't really believe pretty much any content that is on there, apart from what their friend is. That's unfortunate. So we need to rethink how we think about creating this advertising, and so it becomes great social currency or storytelling. And as a good thing about it is we need to understand the consumer, but then again, it's never been easier to know what your consumer wants or needs or says or does. Not about launching more surveys, but if you already look at all the data that is out there, that people are doing, you analyze the data, there's incredible learnings that have been taken from there. There's a popular saying that says that Amazon, if they would tomorrow launch a coffee industry, they'll probably fail for 6 to 12 months and lose a lot of money. But after these 6 or 12 months, they'll succeed. One, because they'll be on so much data that they are analyzing day to day that they'll be smarter than you at that point. And two, because they have a different kind of thinking. Not in essence because they're smarter as a business, but because they look at things differently. Second, you need to design for the networks. Nike Plus is a very good example. Don't forget, Nike Plus was invented by the advertising agency. It was not invented by Nike. It was a way, how can we communicate a stronger link about this product that we can, relate in people's life, that we can play a role in the network. Try and find what the network is that is relevant for your business. And then I don't mean the network as in Facebook or Twitter, but try and find those nodes, those common interests, those links between people, and try and play a role in that. Think about the fact that, as I said, you cannot unlink the communication piece from the product. You cannot only do a digital transformation in your communication. You cannot go from radio and print to Facebook and Twitter. The transformation needs to go through all your business. The big businesses that are kicking our ass right now are the ones that are rethinking the whole system, the whole product, the whole business altogether, are not making another different claim in communication. Return on design. As Steve Jobs said, design is how it works, it's not just what it looks like. And you can clearly see, this is a graph that shows the Dow Jones index, or the index if you just take out all the companies that focus on design. And then you see that they score much better on total in creating value altogether. So it's a very successful thing to do. It's not just something that you make nice products that look nice for people. No, if you think about the whole design, about how the user experience is, how people go through, including your advertising, including your communication, you get a more successful business. It's proven by data. Build to last. Build to evolve instead of build to last. And I had this example of Android, it was a good example, but I thought the music earlier on was even a better example, that you create something that is built, that you start building, and that the plan is that it will evolve, that you don't immediately see an end, or that you don't make something that will be ready to last for another 10 years, because then it will be outdated in a month. You make something that is there that can evolve, and do the same in your campaigns. If you make a campaign that is saying one thing and needs to stay there for the next 3 years, you will fail. You need to make a campaign of which you look at the data and that is open in the way you look at it as a marketeer, so it evolves over time. Think about the fact that ideas can come from anywhere. And then I don't mean crowdsourcing, because I don't believe in crowdsourcing. I think it's asking the wrong question to the right people. When you think about the fact that everybody can have a good idea of your business, is it not because you ask 1,000 people and say, what would be a good idea for my business, that they'll come up with that good idea? You need to listen to your consumers and you'll find out. But just don't forget that even in the agency side, it is not just the creative teams that come up with the creative ideas. It is the whole company altogether. So try and find these ideas that are relevant for you and for your advertising. And then plan for the unknown. I think this is a very exciting graph. I don't know if you can see it. So I'll explain it. This is the Super Bowl from 2 years ago. And this is the Super Bowl altogether. The show lasts for 5 hours. And this is the number of tweets during the Super Bowl. The differences are, and those are in the millions, the differences are in the millions of tweets if you go from second to second throughout the whole show. So it's very important to understand that we cannot even plan how people are paying attention in one TV show that lasts 5 hours, and then we're making marketing plans that are defined for the next 6 months or 3 years. That is just stupid. So we got to plan for the unknown. That means that we have a clear purpose, that we have a clear target, that we know we want to get, that we want to achieve. But the more we think about it in the future, the more we keep open, so we can change things around. So unless you think about advertising as that annoying thing that comes in between, that interrupts experiences, consumers' experience, unless you think like that, I think it's a great time to be in advertising. Thank you very much.